Ezra Pound poem, The Girl. So in this video, we are going to cover 3 different topics related to this poem. Background of Greek mythology, translation of the poem, and theme. So let's get started. Greek mythology. Mythology means the study of myths. According to Greek mythology, Apollo was this god of the sun and poetry, and he has to pull the sun in his 4-horse chariot every day, while on the other hand, Daphne, a nymph who was the daughter of a river god. Daphne was famous for her utmost beauty and attraction. She tries to be a virgin for the rest of her life and gets successful. It is generally believed that Apollo once made a mockery. Mockery means satirical mimicry of whom? Eros. Now who is Eros? Eros, Roman name is Cupid, the son of love or god of love. So when he made the mockery of Eros of love, that he lost his power, Eros wanted to take revenge and he became very aggressively and hit 2 arrows. So when he hit 2 arrows, one struck Apollo and made him fall in love with Daphne, and a lead arrow made Daphne hate Apollo. Apollo followed Daphne consistently and ran after her like mad, like a mental. Daphne, as we aforesaid, that was the daughter of Peneus. So who was Peneus? The river god, asking help from her father to preserve her virginity. Who wanted to take help? Her daughter Daphne. So why she wanted to take help from her father? Because she wanted to preserve her virginity. Her father finally transformed her body into a small plant with an amazing smell. Apollo comes nearer to her and finally the flight was arrested. As her feet took root in the ground, her body dwindled and her arms shoot up, and as Apollo seized her in his arms, he found himself grasping a bush of laurel with shining leaves, the color of Daphne's dark green hair. It is believed in Greek mythology that Daphne has to sacrifice her body and turn it into a tree, as this was the only way she could avoid Apollo's sexual advances. After that, Apollo in sorrow wears the bark cloths. So this was the story of Greek mythology related to this poem. If we talk about its translation, the first stanza, the tree has entered my hands, the sap has ascended my arms, the tree has grown in my breast downward, the branches grow out of me like arms. So in first stanza, Daphne narrates the start of the poem. She is describing herself when being transformed. Daphne transformation is something more than just becoming a tree, and it seems like Daphne who is narrating the whole poem. We came across Daphne's description of her transformation, Ezra found actually by the means of this simple yet brilliant poem explains the fact that if any human being, be it a girl or a boy, is born like with a disability, they have the right as a human being to remain happy and to be treated as equal always. As the vegetation keeps on growing on her body, the world tortures her more and more to an extent that the girl is disheartened. And if we talk about its second stanza, tree you are, moss you are violets with wind above them, a child so high you are, and all this is fully to the world. The perspective of Apollo in this stanza, the perspective of Apollo means who was Apollo? The sun god. The poet speaks to what is referred to as the child. The mossy trees looks very young and seems very tall. The poet describes the violets, which seems very fragile even in the wind, surrounds the tree to the world, and this full talk is nothing but foolishness. The skin of the girl transformed into the bark. Now, what is bark? Like it's tough protective covering of the woody stems and roots of trees and other woody plants. Along with the hair becoming leaves, her arms were transformed into branches, and the feet became rooted to the ground. Apollo embraced the Apollo embraced. So, what does embraced mean? A close, affectionate, and protective acceptance. Apollo embraced the branches, but alas, the branches shrunk away from him. So this was this translation of the poem The Girl. If we talk about its theme, so Ezra Pound, who was at the movement like Imagism movement, he was also the founder of Imagism movement. And the second theme we can also call that escapism. And the third, that is imagination and nature's realism, love, and at the last we have the theme of lust. So this was all about today's. I hope this video has been helpful for you. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Take care of yourself.